Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all my Tabletop Life viewers. Today we are going to be talking a lot about the Eldari stuff. So obviously there's a million other channels out there that have all this information. You can go watch them for the leaks and spoilers of when it directly came out and when GW showed it all. I'm going to be going over it and kind of talking about how useful I think things are and more use cases than just exactly what it does. This is going to range from things like the avatar all the way down to Harlequin weapons and battle focus and the new Strands of Fate dice and just the really use case scenarios of what I think are going to bring to the table and what I should start planning my lists around and things like that. So let's jump into it. But before we do, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun things. Let us know in the comments what you think of every single one of these topics. All right, so first of all, we've got the Avatar of Khan, however you want to say it. Whatever the correct way is, I don't know. So his basic stat lines are he's a beast, right? So he's 14 wounds, 2 up save, 4 up invuln. Super good buff going from a 5 up invuln to a 4 up invuln. He doesn't have a feel no pain or anything, which you would love to see, but being half damage is probably better. So he's a force to reckon with. He's going to give reroll charges within 6 inches of core. I need to check and see if that is Eldari or if it is specifically, because that will definitely. Okay, so it is not going to work for Harlequins if you pair them up. That would be sweet if they did, but it's not going to. I don't believe it's going to. I'm like 95% sure it's not going to. So we're going to assume it's not going to. And then, so he's got that. He's got a little gun, the Wailing Doom. It's basically a melt-a-shot that you draw a line through it. So if you've seen the Tau Fusion, it's very similar to that. Really, really cool ability that could do some damage once it gets up close. So that's really cool. And then he's got 2 different combat profiles, strength 7, or 7 attacks, strength 14, minus 5 damage, d6 plus 2. So it's just going to eat monsters. It's going to eat vehicles. And then you've got a strength 14 attacks, strength 7, minus 2, 2 damage. That's more your anti-horde, marine kind of killer vibe going on there. But if you just want to squash 5 marines, you use that first profile and you just say you're dead. So it's interesting because he's going to be a lot of points. So I'm kind of torn. I'm like, he could be really good in armies if, his rerolls do extend to things like Harlequins or Yannari or Corsairs and stuff like that. Could be really cool. But right now it's like, what's he going to reroll charges for? Is it going to be Striking Scorpion, Howling Banshees, or Storm Guardians? I'm not too excited about that. I don't think that really matters, and you're not going to really take him for his reroll charges, aura. I don't think that matters. Now, if you want a goalie that is going to stand on your deployment zone and protect your support platforms or your night spinners or anything like that, super good character for that, because it's like once you cross the lines, you got to mess with him and he's just going to kill you. So could be pretty good for that. He could also just be really good for target saturation. Like, you want people to shoot at him because he's half damage. So it's like, oh, you have a melt-a-shot that's going to do 8 damage to me. Okay, well, it does 4. So it's like now these eradicators and these meltas and stuff, if they want to shoot him instead of shooting your transports or, your indirect fire stuff, it's like kind of okay because he's just going to soak up so much more, and he has a 4 up invuln. So it's like it's a 50% chance that they're going to actually even get the damage through, and then it's going to be half damage. So he's going to live through a lot of stuff. And all the small arms fire basically is just not going to touch him because they're going to be wounding him on 5s or 6s. And yeah, it's just not going to matter. So you have to shoot him with big guns. So yeah, I mean, am I going to take him for the 300 plus points that he's going to be? Probably not. Will I use him in a battle report? Yes, definitely. He's going to be a super fun model to put on the table to paint and build and everything like that. But from a competitive side, I don't think he's going to be very viable. Like, could be wrong though. Could be wrong. We might find a niche list that works really well around him, but just from paper, he's not something I'm going to be putting in there immediately. But we got to try him. Got to try him. So battle focus. We've got battle focus, which is the new battle focus. So basically, battle focus used to just let us advance and shoot. Now what it's saying is if you advance, you can shoot assault weapons or pistols, which is cool that it carries over to pistols. And you count as remain stationary. All right, cool. Now, the broken part of this is going to be after a unit has finished making its attacks, unless it had fell back or advanced, it can roll 1d6 and then it can make a normal move up to that distance. It goes on to say units cannot embark in transports when they do this, and they cannot declare a charge afterwards. And obviously, if you come in reinforcements, you can't do it either. So what's really cool about this is it's cool, but it's super broken. Like let's just say how broken this is. I'm going to use Dark Reapers as an example because I know they're going to have battle focus. Imagine 10 Dark Reapers not needing to spend for fire and fade, touching a piece of terrain, towing in, and knowing that they only need 1 inch to move out of it. They can shoot anything on the board, never get hurt. Shoot anything on the board, never get hurt. Shoot anything on the board, never get hurt. Now you can do that with all of your units. Now you could have 30 Dark Reapers that do that. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have Dark Reapers? Just max them out. There's no reason not to. Yeah, like we saw that, vehicles can do this once per game. So you could do this with your bigger guns like Falcons and be like, hey, I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to see you. I'm going to go into safety for my first turn. And then all my guys are going to get out afterwards. So there's a lot of crazy things. And it's pretty much saying you could build a full Eldar army that is indirect fire that you can't engage with unless you have indirect fire. So not sure how I feel about it. I would not be surprised if this doesn't get a FAQ of some sort. I don't know what, but it seems very, very broken. Like, let's say Warwalkers have it. Oh, they all just touch the terrain and they all just move and they're in safety. It's crazy. Now, we saw that the support platforms don't have it, so you can't really abuse that, but most of their guns are indirect fire, so it's not that big of a deal. Overall, though, I think that this is going to be really broken and people are going to get very, very frustrated with it. And there's no reason not to abuse it. Like if you're building an army and you want to build it around being able to touch terrain and then leave terrain to just destroy people, like why not? They're allowing you to do it. So yeah, broken, excited. On to the next thing, Strands of Fate. This is probably the most exciting thing in the Eldar Codex that I've seen. And I'm not sure what else is going to top this. So if you've played Sisters, played against them, played them yourself, you're used to Miracle Dice, this is a different version of that. So what's really cool is how it works is at the start of every battle round, you're just going to roll a number of dice you're just going to roll 6 dice, and then you're going to be able to keep those for however big the battle is. So we're going to talk about Strike Force here, competitive. So I'm going to roll 6 dice. I'm going to be able to keep 4 of those. Now, what those 4 dice are going to do is, depending on what I rolled, they're going to allow me to alter a dice to be a 6 within that battle round. And I get to do this every battle round. So a 1 is an advance roll, a 2 is a charge roll, a 3 is a psychic test, 4 is a hit, 5 is a wound, 6 is a saving throw. Now, out of these, what I really, really care about is the 3. I want to roll 2 3s every single. I mean, honestly, I'll roll as many 3s as they'll give me, right? So Psychic Phase for Eldar has been very, very crucial and very clutch in the past. Like things like Doom and Jinx and getting Protect, double move, things like that. Being able to guarantee those is insane. So you want 3s and I want threes for days on this. I really don't care about my advance roll. I really don't care about my charge roll. I really don't care about my hit, my wound, or my saving throw. Those are all very nice to haves, but the psychic test I think is absolutely insane. So I roll a 3 and then I do a psychic test and I say, hey, one of these dice for my psychic test is automatically a 6. Now I have to roll the other one, but that's fine because I got an autark on the table and I got 2 command rerolls in my psychic phase as well. Now, sure, spending command, CP on that could hurt, but like being able to say, hey, I have a psychic test that's automatically a 6 plus a reroll, and then plus whatever pluses like Eldrad or a Farseer or a Ghost Helm or additional relics or warlord traits might give you. I don't see how you almost have like 100% psychic test most of the time. Now, obviously, if you have a charge roll and you have a 9-inch charge or even a 5-inch charge. I've failed 4-inch charges before. You can just be like, hey, it's a 6-inch charge. You know you're not going to fail it. You're going to get a little bit of extra movement. You can't go wrong there, especially if it's like to deny Overwatch or a very important thing that's game changing. They're all going to be very good, but I'm super excited about the psychic test. This is an amazing, amazing ability, and I'm excited to see how it affects all the gameplay. Shuriken Cannon. So if you didn't see with the update here, this used to be Assault 3 with no AP, 1 damage, rending to be minus 4 AP on 6s. Now it's Heavy 3, minus 1 AP, flat 2 damage. So flat 2 damage is awesome. And then the 6s are going to improve your armor penetration by 2. So it's going to become AP 3. So not bad at all. So like for killing Marines or like flak and stuff like that, it's really good. You're gonna at least have minus 1 AP, could be minus 3 AP. Heavy is the only kind of downside to it, because unless you have an ability that allows you to, mitigate that stuff, then yeah. But like a Wave Serpent with 3 of these bad boys on it, that's 9 flat 2 damage shots. It's better than it used to be, and that's what I used to run on Wave Serpents all the time. Then you look at like bikes. You throw Shuriken Whipping on a bunch of bikes, and now it's like, whoa, that's a lot of damage output. So I think that there's a lot of play here because of the AP and the additional damage. We'll see if it really comes into effect based on other guns and weapon stat lines and stuff like that. It's a really good change. I don't think it's game changing or breaking or anything like that. You'll probably see more use out of it on the Harlequin side because their transports have them and everything. So I think this is more of a Harlequin buff than a Craftworld buff. So overall, very good for Harlequins. Craftworld, you could take it or leave it. Speaking of Harlequins, we get into their other weapons. So you've got the Void Weaver Haywire Cannon. So we've seen the new Haywire profile on things like the Talos, if you're, Dark Eldar player. And they've been D3 shots, strength 4 minus 3, and then I believe they're D3 damage on those ones, though. So now this one is just a souped up version. It's 2 D3 shots, minus 3 AP, damage 3. And it is strength 4 too, so like it works against like Marines and things like that, and it still allows you to have output when there's not vehicles. And that was the biggest downfall of Haywire in the past, is if there was no vehicles in there, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? So now this allows you to use it for infantry and monsters, anything else. So pretty cool. It is blast, which is really good now against like you go against Horde and it's minus 3 AP, flat 3 damage, like that's really, really good. So now the big changes, which are the same as what it was before, is against vehicles, 4 up is always a wound, and then 6s do D3 mortal. So you're not going to get as much mortal output, but you're wounding vehicles on 4s, and it's a minus 3 flat 3 damage. Like that's really good. And then you spike a 6 or 2, like you could just kill a vehicle in a single go. Like imagine you roll 6 shots of this, and then you hit half of them. Let's assume you don't have any rerolls or anything. You're hitting on 3s. So I guess you'll hit more than half of them. So let's say you hit 4 of them, 4 out of the 6 shots. Then you're wounding on 4s. You're going to wound 2 of those. They're minus 3 AP, whatever that vehicle is going to be taking, a 5 up, 6 up. They should fail both of them, so you're going to do 6 damage. Maybe you'll do some mortals in addition. So depending on if it's a bigger vehicle, smaller vehicle, you should be able to just kill it with a single gun. But even if you don't, doing anywhere from 3 to 9 damage with a single gun is pretty good. Now, is it worth taking those vehicles? Probably not. As of right now, I'd say probably not. So now the big change to Harlequins is their close combat weapons. They all used to have different strengths, AP, and damage. Now they're all the same. They're all in line, which is cool. Strength 1, which is going to make them Strength 4, -2 AP, flat 2 damage. So I don't have to spend CP to get flat 2 damage and like kill Marines anymore, which is awesome. But now the interesting thing is they've put a stratagem with each one. So now there's really one of these that I think I'll use more than others, but we'll see. So with kisses, 6s to wound, do 1 mortal wound, and it caps out at 6 mortal wounds per phase. So 1 CP, I could do 6 mortal wounds if I hit any 6s. That's okay. It's fine. You go into like a squad of Custodes, you could potentially just kill 2 of them off of the mortals. You can kill 3 Marines. You can kill 6 normal infantry. It's good. It's definitely good. Now, how useful? We have to really get it into testing. But it's a good stratagem. Doing 6 mortals, but if you don't roll any 6s to wound, like that's just going to suck then. So you're really going to need like reroll wounds so then you can fish for those 6s potentially. So we'll see. And then caresses are just ignoring invulns. So this is really good. At -2 AP, really where this is going to come into play is against like other Eldar, like demons. Marines, it's not going to do a whole lot unless they're like 3-up invuln Marines. And then you look at like Custodes and you're like, oh, they have a 2-up save. They go to a 4-up instead of a 3-up. It helps somewhat. So it's 2 CP. I think it's very situational and it's not going to get as much oomph as you would like it to by just saying it ignores invulns. You really need to be AP3 or AP4 for that to really, really matter and be super effective. I think this is like a mediocre effectiveness and very situational. Embrace. So if you make a charge move or a heroic intervention, you select an enemy unit, excluding vehicles or monsters, in engagement range, and you roll a d6 for each model in your unit, and on a 4-up they take 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6. So you charge with 10 guys. You're looking for 4-ups. You're going to get 4 to 5 mortals typically out of that. If you spike it, you get 6. So if you want to charge somebody, spend a CP and kill a couple guys, cool. A lot of units have like built-in things that do this, like built-in rules. I don't think it's that effective. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about these. I think the 6 mortals is okay. I think the ignoring invulns is very situational. Embraces, I just don't really care about it, and I don't think I'll use that. And yeah, that does it for everything that we know so far about Aeldari. Hopefully my insights and my thoughts kind of around building and what I think I would take or not take kind of helps you in your endeavors as you get ready for this awesome giant codex that is about to come out. Obviously, I am super looking forward to Craftworld and also the ability to mix in Harlequins, because that's what I used to always play, was half Craftworld, half Harlequins. So I love this. Let us know in the comments what you think. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and do all those fun things. And we'll see you on the next one.